Good afternoon, everyone. David here, 3:15 on Friday, the 12th of February. And as you can see, I'm looking at VectorVest USA real time. We've been running now for 45 minutes. The advances and the declines pretty much the same. The Dow off 48 ticks. The short-term trend on VectorVest is up. The longer-term trend is up. And yesterday we had a green light in the price column of the color guard saying that the price of the VectorVest composite was up day over day and week over week, so all is still looking good. I think I've opened up the VectorVest market timing chart of the American market. That's it, folks. And down below we have the market timing indicator, a proprietary composite study, and the VectorVest breadth measurement of the market, the proprietary buy-sell ratio. And clearly this divergence is on the MTI. It's been running up for a long time. The divergence is in a mega overbought situation, but you've heard me say that since December. So the one thing that is suggesting that this market's very strong is that we've made a new high here, and the buy-sell ratio has done the same thing, right up to certainly mega overbought levels at 10.2. This is saying that this is an incredibly strong market. So all the measures of the trend are up. In the short term, we are overbought, and certainly in the longer term, we are right up at mega overbought areas. We need to be careful, but no divergence in the buy-sell ratio tells me that it's worth our while hanging into this market and watching our stop losses and managing risk carefully. That's what I'm doing. I thought it was useful to load a 4-hour chart of the S&P, and that's the 4-hour chart, folks, that shows this run up, and this was quite a predictable pattern here. They're always easy in hindsight, I know. There was the 4 hours. This is 4 hours worth of data. In other words, there's 6 of them a day, and this market runs pretty much 24 hours a day. As you can see, it came back and kissed that old high, and then what it's done now is it's run up and came back very strongly. Now on Monday afternoon I was doing the Q&A. I told some of our S&P traders that I felt that a pullback to 3870 was probable. That didn't happen, and you can see that we've charted this triangular pattern, a pretty much textbook 5-wave triangle, and you can see big tails on the candles right at the lows, which suggests that somebody's buying it. So this triangular pattern after a strong run up is fairly bullish. So I think that there's room for more on the upside here, and the Fibonacci target from here would take it another 50 or 60 points higher. So both long-term and short-term were very overbought, but the trends are up, and I'm hanging in there because I don't know anything else to do apart from stay with the trend. That's kept me on the right side of this market for a very long time, when some very good friends of mine have been shorting it and losing bucketfuls. So there'll be a time to short, I assure you, but I don't think it's today. I could be wrong. Maybe this is the exact top, but I'll stick with the trends, and the trends are saying that we're heading up. If I look at viewers, Zoom has gone a long way for me, but it's off a bit today. Square, I'm itching to bank Square. To tell you the truth, it's up. I'll show you the chart in a second. Gravity's going okay. Amazon is pulling back, and I think that there's a big move ahead on Amazon, but my word, it's not going to give us the money easy. So let's have a look at some of these right down to the S&P. I'll try and do it as quickly as I can. That's Zoom. That's my falling wedge target, and I bought the darn thing somewhere down here, 380, and give or take a dollar, and that's where I think it's going to go to. Is it going to go to this in the one fell swoop? That would surprise me, but nevertheless, I think that it's worth hanging on to it today. That's square, and as you can see, that's why I'm itching to take some money. It's broken through this. That was the pullback. I bought into it somewhere here, and I have an order in the system at the 1.618 extension. It still hasn't been hit yet, but it's going well, and I may bank that before the end of business today. That's gravity. It's come back and kissed that level, which is quite common. Sweat it out. Amazon pulled back in 3 waves. I'm still in here. Stop losses down under these lows somewhere, but I was hoping for better. And that's PLTR. I wouldn't be at all surprised it's going to flush out stops under this low. If that's the case, if I keep my stop loss where I've got it at the moment, I'm going to get stopped out. But we could easily be charting a spring pattern here where we come back under the 30 and go again. If that's the case, I'll just have to re-enter. I made some, as you know, I take off half when I made as much as I've risked, and I managed to get half off there, and the stop's at entry. So I could get stopped out on that one. Big deal. Won't be the first time. That's Neo still going. And that is a spring formation. I think if we can get through these levels, it will spring. And I speak probabilistically, folks. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. This still looks fine. And that's DraftKings moving up. Clearly a great deal of resistance at that old high. Can we get through that old high? I hope so. So that's what I've been up to. I haven't added any more. I looked around and I actually couldn't see anything that tickled my fancy that wasn't trading well off major support levels. So I'll leave those alone. I'm hoping that my analysis of the S&P is correct and that we've got another push up, another 40 or 50 points in the S&P from here. Time will tell. So sitting for now. And I'm reasonably happy with them. The UK market, well, we got a green light in the price column yesterday, which is always good, and we are in an up situation, which means the short-term trend, the long-term trend is up, and like the US, everything is up, and the pointer is just about into the green, and the advice is good. So if I have a look at what I'm holding there, and I'm holding too much, I need to sell something, and but I'm fully invested and I'm doing my best to try and do what I talk about. I bought into Italian mining. It's gone very nicely. I'll show it in a second. 4D is another spec share, and it's just about where I bought it. Tristel has been great. SLP, folks, let's just look at these because they're interesting. See if I can get them all up here. Well, let's look at the first half dozen anyway. And that's Italian mining, and that's the 21 and the 55-day moving average, and this big red bar here, huge volume going into it here, but you can see that this broke out on big volume and it broke out here on reasonable volume. I only got into it somewhere here about 275 odd, but going very nicely. I think the next thing that's going to happen is it's going to go sideways. This has been driven by the price of copper. So this is a small copper miner in Spain, if my mind serves me well. That's treble D, just like the chart here, folks, and the pharmaceutical is beyond me. I tried to understand it, but I gave up. It's out of my area of expertise. This came back to here. I didn't trade it there, and it came down here again, which is a spring, and then it sprung, and then it goes into this beautiful flag pattern, and that's where I bought it at about 121 something there, and it broke out of that flag pattern on reasonable volume, and it's now going sideways on lower volume. So I'm hopeful that this is going to fly. I really am. That's Tristel, and that has been great, folks. Just amazing how lucky you get if you're on the right side of these moving averages. That pulled back pretty much to that old top, and away it went again. So a 3-4 day pullback. There was a time on the S&P 500 that you could have made a living on just a 3-day pullback and nothing else. Markets have got more complicated. That's SLP. I've been speaking about this to anybody who'll listen. Look at this. Wonderful run up and rising volume, and then it tries to get up here again, volume coming in, and then it goes sideways, no volume, and that's pretty much saying that there's no sellers around at all. And with the price of platinum breaking out of a 10 to 12 year bear market, this looks as if it can double from here, folks, and I speak probabilistically. The vector based valuations £2, it's trading at 1,115, and I'm hoping that this is going to be a big winner. It's a big winner already. That's GameSys, and it's broken. This little head and shoulders reversal, if you can call it that, and I'm very happy with that. It pulled back. That was the GameStop angst, and it's gone from what, 13 to 14 odd. So that starting Halma. I like Halma, and I particularly like this chart action volume. Not easy to read, but you see this big hammer here. Clearly that flushed out an awful lot of stops, and there was corporate action there with a new chairman coming in, so this pattern's always good, and that looks very strong to me. So I'm reasonably happy with most of these. Pershing Square was looking critical the other day, but it's shored up very nicely. Team 17's going well, JD Sports is going well, and Games Workshop in particular scared the cats again. And as you can see, there's a trend line, and at our K&A Monday afternoon, I drew in the 78% retracement, and the low of that candle, and we did this live, in fact, the low of that candle is exactly a 78% retracement, and clearly there was a big order placed there, and that reversed this and turned it into this beautiful outside day stroke hammerish candle pattern, and it's starting to move very strongly. I haven't added to this yet because I haven't got any money, but I added to it here. It would surprise me if it broke that 120 level without having a go at it, pulling back again and then going. So I think there's probably no hurry to add to that. But earnings per share, as you can see, over that's only the last 6 months, has gone up by 50%. If they can keep that up, then that 120 level will go relatively quickly indeed. GB Group now, gold, always difficult. Well, on Monday and maybe on Tuesday, I can't remember, I felt that there was another test down, and that in fact has happened a little bit. The simple model that I use is just an 8-day stochastic and a 40-day stochastic to try and gauge medium term and longer term measure of overbought and oversold. This was 5 up, not a pretty 5, and 3 back. I think, folks, that there's a major turning point soon in gold. As you can see, this is very oversold. That was oversold a couple of days ago. Can it take out this low? Of course it can. You can do it at once. It's had 2 days down now. But I shall start to look at gold again, or adding to gold stocks, I think, and be a little braver on gold stocks if I see it breaking up through 1856. So above 1856, I'm going to start to favour longs again in the gold market. The 2 gold shares that I've got, Pan African Resources and Polymetal, have held up very well indeed in the sell-off. Just remember, that doesn't look like much now, but last Friday afternoon that fell the guts of $100. So if we see a rising bottom here, then I think that there's a low in gold coming, but let's not get too excited about any forecasts. Let's in fact trade the market. A rising bottom here would be very useful indeed. So that's what I've been up to, folks. Let's go back and have a look at the front page of VectorVest if I can find it. Real time home. and nothing much has changed. As you can see, the Dow's off 54 points, and the S&P off 2.3 ticks, hardly anything, but it's got its nose well above that 39.14 level. I'm probabilistically, this little triangular pattern on the 24-hour market should break on the upside. All the trends on VectorVest are saying that we are rising, and I'm going to do my best to be strong in these positions, although I'm itching to bank that square trade, because there's quite a bit of cash in that for me. Folks, have a great weekend. Again, I'll be doing a Q&A session for VectorVest on Monday afternoon, where we're going to go through all of this in a great deal of detail. We'll look at the commodity market, we'll look at oil, we'll look at the stock markets, we'll look at the gold market as well in some detail. If you're not a VectorVest subscriber, well, two things you can do. One, you can go to the website and sign up for a 30-day trial, or you can email me and I'll send you a guest invite for Monday afternoon. David.paul@vectorvest.com. David, normal David.paul, Paul @vectorvest.com. Have a great weekend, folks. Bye bye now.